the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
You got to do something because December is broken in college football. Any final things? Let's hit Georgia, who we said is number one. They have the number one signing class here. Matt Green lose Dylan Raiola, which was growingly expected, to Nebraska. He posted a poem about his decision to make the flip to Nebraska. His uncle is the offensive line coach. Obviously, his dad played at Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's hey, Kyle McCord we thought was going to go with him, and then Kyle McCord, because Fran Brown's out here doing work up at Syracuse, pulls Kyle McCord from Ohio State. But also a guy who was like a Georgia Bulldog assistant coach like a couple weeks ago, and now he's just like putting in work at Syracuse. Life comes at you fast, Matt Green. But you gain KJ Bolden in a huge late flip. The Buford curse is over for Georgia as they land big time Buford safety in KJ. But what do you make of Georgia wrapping up the number one overall class in 2024, Matt Green?
They did get Isaac Nada a couple years ago, and there's obviously been a Buford player here and there. But yeah,
not the same pedigree,
it does seem like the big time Buford guys never go to Georgia. So to lose Dylan Raiola and still have the number one class before signing KJ Bolden, that was it just shows how loaded this Georgia class has really been. Like it's a classic Kirby Smart class, really. Like this is the third number one class Kirby Smart has signed, seventh top three class in the last 8 years. So number one corner, number one safety, number one linebacker. Like it's a pretty loaded class. And actually I saw the last three number one safeties in the country from Jefferson, from Mill Creek, and from Buford. Like that area, I don't know what Northern Gwinnett, Jackson County is doing with safeties, but yeah. So Georgia obviously with a loaded class, but Dylan Raiola, I'm glad you said it on this poem. Like, what is this guy doing with the poem? I feel like I expect this from someone who's like new to the limelight. You know what I mean? Like your dad's a professional athlete. Like when you told your dad you're going to do this, he had to think like, really, bro, you're going to like decommit from Georgia with like a poem and you're going to compare yourself to Johnny Rodgers and Eric Crouch and these other great Nebraska players. Like, and I don't know. It was just, I think it's, good luck to Dylan Raiola. I think it's a questionable decision. I think Georgia fans have to be happy about Ryan Puglisi in this class because he was committed to Georgia. Raiola committed, and he said, "Okay, like I'm still going to Georgia." And the fact that he never wavered from that, I think was always. I think that did a lot for him in the eyes of Georgia fans, and maybe just says something about this guy's confidence in himself. But yeah, Georgia with another loaded class this year.
Yeah, and I mean they lost a lot in the portal, but part of the reason they're losing guys in the portal is because they have a lot of talented dudes behind them, right? Like that seems to be the issue there with James Dumas Johnson winding up at Kentucky and as a transfer. Marvin ended up at Florida State. Like it's not because of an issue with where Georgia is. It's not a panic meter. It's just because the snaps just aren't there because you have these young 5-stars behind them pushing, and it's just they're crowded with talent. That's what it seems like from the outside looking in. Is that what's going on there?
For sure. I mean, it's just you look at there's like 16 in the portal to this point, and obviously Georgia's going to have a few early draft entries, not too many this year, and then you look at what are they bringing in 28 in this year's class?
28. Yep.
So yeah, it's like you gotta, there's some attrition that's bound to happen. And I don't know if other Georgia fans feel this way, but Xavier Story is transferring to Arkansas. I think I've seen multiple guys going to Syracuse. There's something about when these guys go to like somewhere else that a former Kirby Smart coach is, it's like, okay, I'm happy for it. It's like he wants to be at Georgia, but he's not good enough. So he's going to go to the next best thing and go to a guy who used to coach at Georgia. But yeah, so Fran Brown, especially Fran Brown, like I think KJ Bolden apparently said something like the way Fran Brown talked about Georgia after he left was like a reason that he gave Georgia like another look. So I think definitely shout out Fran Brown for everything he did for Georgia's defensive back group while he was there.
No doubt. Matt Green, to pivot quickly, because I'm sure the good folks are curious about Tennessee's class here. Overall, like the Tennessee Ball Sports guys, we were talking about it over text and stuff. One of the things.
Go. Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.